Hello and welcome. You have tuned into Buy Now Sell Now on ET Now. I'm Shruti Sharma and with me Cheryl D'Souza. And viewers, this is the show where you get answers for all your stock related queries. In a short while from now, we will connect with our experts. But before that, let's have a quick look what the markets are up to. So Cheryl, the market seems like to be taking a breather on the benchmark indices, but even the broader markets, not much of a participation coming in for today.
Absolutely. A very good morning to you, Srishti. And yes, not much participation coming in from the benchmark indices or the broader markets in trade today. We are actually trading range bound in today's trading session. Remember that yesterday we did hit the coveted 26,000 mark on the Nifty, but from there on, then we just lost steam and ended flat with a negative bias for some of the indices. But right now, as you can see it on your screen, flattish move coming in across the board, be it Sensex, Nifty Bank, or the broader markets for the matter of fact. Handful of gainers. You have Power Grid, DV's Lab, as well as Axis Bank. They are seeing good gains in trade today, while on the flip side, it is LTI Mindtree, Tech Mahindra, as well as Tata Consumer that are taking it a bit easy in trade today. So that's the way how the markets are looking at this point in time, Srishti. But given the fact that we are having a truncated show, let's directly dive into the queries then.
Well, certainly, we did start the show late, so without further ado, let's connect with our experts and let me welcome our experts for today. That is Hemen Kapadia, who is joining us to guide us on the technical front, as well as Shahina Mukadam is joining us to help us with her fundamental take on the counters. A very good morning to both of you and thank you so much for your time. Let's kickstart taking all the queries that have already started pouring in. And the first query that I have is coming in from Venkat from Hyderabad. And Hemen, if you can help him with your take on HDFC AMC. The stock has been showing some bit of a momentum and Venkat is already holding and having profit of 10% in this stock. Any target price for this particular stock and what would you advise? Continue to hold on or book profits?
A very good morning to you, Shristi. Thank you for having me on the show. It's always a pleasure. I would suggest a hold, Shristi. We've been consolidating for around 5 weeks, but there's a consolidation in a bull market. Assumption is a close above 4550 would constitute a breakout. Assuming that happens, we're looking at a price target of around 4800, Shristi.
Right, a very good morning to Hemen as well as good morning to you, Shahina. Thank you so much for joining us on ET Now. And let's take the next query coming from Dheeraj, writing to us from Ooty. And he wants a technical view actually on NIIT. He has about in excess of about 1,000 shares at a price of around 154 rupees per share. What's your take actually, Hemen, since the viewer is asking about the technical view on NIIT?
It's posted a fresh all-time high, frankly speaking, Cheryl. So there's not much to go on as far as levels are concerned. And since a high of 204, we're in a corrective phase. It seems like a correction within a bull market. The picture doesn't change. So I would say hold as of now. For safety's sake, a stop loss at 158 can be kept, but the setup is moved too fast, so we're seeing a correction.
All right, moving on to the next query then. And Shahina, if you can help Geeta with your take on GE Shipping, because she's been holding 75 shares of GE Shipping and already having a profit of 36% in this stock. Can she go ahead and accumulate more of this stock at current levels or maybe book out profits? Good morning.
Well, good morning. I would suggest that either if she is a short-term investor, then she can book out her profits. But if she's a longer-term investor and wants to invest, I would prefer she buys it at slightly lower levels. I would give a buying level closer to about 1,000, 1,100 would be a safer bet. There is a lot happening in the global shipping. Rates are going up. There is a lot of uncertainty because of the geopolitical issues, wars going on, and a number of shipping lines being affected. So it is better to buy it at dips.
Coming back to you then, once again, Shahina, this one is coming from OSN Reddy, writing to us from Hyderabad, has Kansai Nerolac about 232 shares and seeing a profit of around 2% or so in his holding right now. He's saying, should he look to exit this one and instead look to buy Asian Paints? What's your take coming in on a switch from Kansai to an Asian Paints, from a mid cap to a large cap player or a dominant player in the industry, Shahina?
Well, I would say that Kansai Nerolac is doing pretty well for itself. In terms of valuation, it is more reasonable compared to Asian Paints. So I would suggest he continues holding Kansai Nerolac in the paint sector, or if he wants to move out of the paint sector, then probably he can look at something like banking.
Right. The next query that I have, Hemen, is from Ravinder, writing to us from Hyderabad, and he wants your take on ACC. He already got 72 shares at a price of 1,870 rupees and sitting at decent profits in this one. But what would you advise? Sell, hold, or maybe go ahead and add more?
I would say hold. Cement per se is looking good and led by Ultratech. Level to watch is 2520 as far as ACC is concerned. A close about 2520 on the weekly chart would mean a continuation of its up move. We are in a short term uptrend. I believe this is on the cusp of converting into medium term uptrend.
All right, this one is coming from Deepika, writing to us from Mumbai. Has about 100 shares of CESC at a price of around 155 rupees per share. Wants to know whether she should hold on to this particular counter, look to book profits. Shahina, what's your take on CESC? Do you think it's a hold for a longer term?
Is a hold for the longer term. There is a lot of activity going on over there in terms of capacity expansion, also in terms of restructuring the balance sheet, improving it. So I would suggest continue to hold CSC at current levels.
That's a hold coming in on CESC. But with this, viewers, it's time to slip into a very short break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back to take more of your stock-related queries.
Welcome back. You're watching Buy Now, Sell Now on ET Now. We have our experts waiting by patiently. Shahina Mukadam on the fundamentals, while we have Hemen Kapadia on the technicals. And let me continue taking the query then. And this query that is coming in from Professor Chalam, who's writing to us from Andhra Pradesh. Wants to know about BEL. He has about 2,250 shares at a price of 307 rupees per share. He wants to know what should he do now when it comes to BEL. On the technicals, let me actually come to you, Hemen, to understand how is the charts looking for BEL. Is there any scope of a bounce back coming in for this name and for the rest, or for the names like BEL right now?
Well, firstly, it's in an intermediate correction and it has been down for almost 13 weeks now. One also needs to keep in mind of the background. The stock has moved from 20 to 340 in 3.5 years. Give it some time. You cannot run 2 marathons in a row. It will consolidate, correct. The bigger picture is still bullish, but currently a close about 290 will see a short-term upside. If you are expecting a new high, that is going to take some time.
On to the next query, and the next query, Hemen, I'm once again coming to you because this one is from Venu, and he has bought 100 shares of HUL at a price of 2,990 rupees, but this stock he bought for a swing trade. For now, he's at a loss. What's your take on this particular stock in the short term? Do you believe that this has the potential to give him some positive returns?
Well, the swing trade is a little bit of a problem because a slightly longer term outlook would have meant it would have made money because it's given a 4-year breakout. So frankly speaking, all guns blazing. But yeah, if it's a swing trade, he needs to keep a stop loss at 2859. These are cash market levels. If that cracks in terms of closing, he needs to exit and book a loss. Currently, it's oversold on the intraday charts, but not convincingly enough. A close about 2960 in the short term, we'd see a bounce coming in. Once again, the stock has moved from sub 2200 to 3000 in 5 months. Give it some time.
All right, this next one is coming in from Siva, who's writing to us from Andhra Pradesh. He has SBI, 760 shares of SBI, Shahina, at a price of around 790 rupees per share. He's holding on to this counter for the last 1 year. Wants to know what should he do? Look to book out of this one right now or stay put with SBI? What's your take, given the fact, does he actually purchase the stock at a higher end, that is SBI, for you, this after it had a very good and sustainable run over the last 2 years? What should he do now? Stay put with this for the longer term because fundamentals are intact?
The fundamentals are intact. He should stay with it. Valuations are quite attractive. It's just about, if you include all the subsidiaries, it would be as low as 1.3 times book. Otherwise, it's still 1.8, which is very reasonable. And while shorter term, he may see a bit of correction, time-wise correction. In fact, I would say that if he gets lower levels, he can use it to average and then hold it for the medium to longer term.
All right, then moving on. And Hemen, I'm coming to you for your take on JSW Steel. Given the kind of momentum and the breakouts all these steel counters and metal counters specifically are showing, what's your take on this counter? Rebecca has bought these shares at a price of 994 rupees, can hold for the next 6 months. But what's your view for the next 6 months? And also, would you advise to like add more at these levels?
Firstly, I think it's a hold. Metals are looking good after 4 5 months of a consolidation. And frankly speaking, JSW Steel is on top of the heap in the sense it's the first one to move. It's posted a fresh all-time high. Not many other mainline metal stocks have done that. I think probably Hindalco has, but JSW Steel is fine. Uh, she can add at around 965 or so. She wants to add 960-65, but hold a close above 1010 should take it to 1060. It's in an uptrend on all time frames.
All right, on that note, we'll slip into a break on this edition of Buy Now Sell Now. When we come back, we'll continue taking some more of the stock related queries. Don't go anywhere.
Welcome back to Buy Now Sell Now, show where we get you answers for all your stock related queries, and let's continue the same. The next query that I have is coming in from a viewer named Sakshi, and Sakshi wants to know about Kotak Mahindra Bank. Hemen, this particular stock has been giving a good move. What's your take on this particular stock? Would you still recommend a buy? Sakshi didn't share the buy price, just want a technical check on this.
Shishi, the assumption is that the view is not exactly shorter term, it's probably medium, if not longer term. 4 years, raging bull market, 4 years of a consolidation, stock has gone nowhere. HDFC Bank has done almost the same. So frankly speaking, not much to lose. Outlook is turning positive, and I would say hold. If not, and if you have a slightly longer term view, one can add also. The first breakout comes in at 2050. The second breakout comes in at 2250. If I had a longer term view, I would say stock is going to go to 2400, if not more.
Next one is coming from Akhil. He's writing to us from Delhi. He specified very clearly, actually, Shahina, that he wants to invest in some counters for investment purpose, which indirectly just means that it's for a long-term purpose then. He has Amara Raja batteries, 550 shares at a price of 540 rupees per share. He wants to invest more. How does the prospect for the company look going ahead? And Adani Ports, he has about 650 shares at 700 rupees per share. And also JSW Infra. So between these two, he wants to know which one is a better one to stay put with, whether it's Adani Ports or JSW Infra. First, you can talk about Amara Raja, and then we can go on to these two counters.
A very good return. So I think from current levels, it would make sense to actually book some profits, and he can actually switch to some tire stock or even maybe a pure auto stock like in Tata Motors. I would prefer that. In terms of ports, I think both of them are doing well. Adani Ports looks definitely has a much higher market share compared to the Jindal Group. So to that extent, I would prefer that he continues to remain with Adani Ports.
All right. The next query that I have, Shahina, is on Vodafone Idea, and indeed, what we all know is that there has been a sharp decline in this particular stock around all the news flow that the market is aware of. But what's the long-term view on this particular stock, Shahina? This query is coming in from Sunita Rai.
I think it is a very risky investment at current levels. While they have raised a lot of money, 18,000 crores earlier, as well as they have got this new tie-up for supply of equipment, electronic equipment to various large companies, a very large order. At the same time, I believe the investment that they're talking about is very huge. Balance sheet is pretty stretched. Any fundraise further will dilute the equity considerably. I think the better thing would be to switch to something like a Reliance, which gives you the same opportunity through Jio, or then even Bharti at lower levels looks better.
Actually, coming back to you once again, Shahina, because we have Suresh from Hyderabad who wants to know how does Indigo look to you for the longer term. What's your take on this one? He has 10 shares not given as the buy price, but do you think the prospect for Indigo or the aviation sector now looks a little brighter given the fact that even SpiceJet has managed to actually raise funds?
Of course, Indigo is much better than SpiceJet. While they're raising funds, the balance sheet is so stretched, and it's like the net worth is negative. So I wouldn't really look at SpiceJet. Indigo, you continue to hold for the very long term. Very few airline stocks have actually made too much of money for investors. Indigo has made in the last 1 year. The balance sheet has turned around. They're making a lot of profits. So I would continue to hold, but hold with a strict stop loss. I would say somewhere close to about 4,500 would be a decent stop loss.
All right, the next query that I have him in is coming in from Dr. Sunil BK, and he's holding 300 shares of Sun Pharma. He didn't share his at rupees 770 rupees. So what's your view on this particular stock, Hemen? Can he go ahead and add more of this particular stock for the long term, or book out some partial profits in this stock?
Frankly speaking, Srishti, there is technically nothing wrong with the stock. Safely ensconced in a longer term uptrend has been for the last 4 years, and that hasn't changed. So, firstly, it's a hold. Booking partial profit is never a bad idea to take some money home. But to buy here fresh, I mean, not fresh, to add more here, I don't think so. Without a significant time price retracement, I don't know, it technically looks overbought. So, I would say hold, maybe partial profit booking, but buying, adding new, no.
All right, so that's the view coming in on Sun Pharma. With that, we're totally out of time. Thank you so much, Shahina and Hemen, for waiting by patiently resolving all the queries. And viewers, there's a goodbye from Shrishti, myself, and team that put the show together.